Hello everybody. Welcome back to Eve Echoes. We've got the Wyvern here. We're going to be doing our Wasteseeker combat test that opened today. This is going to be 3.1 through 3.4 or 3.5, something like that. I need to swap out some stuff here. We will not be needing the Cyclops, I believe, and we will not be needing the Iron Guards, but we may potentially need the Tier Things. So let's go ahead and pull those in here. It all depends on whether these bombers can actually apply enough damage to the fighters we're going to encounter. I won't need that either, so we'll just keep this option available to us. If we come across the quietest Thanatos that has a huge amount of healing, then we will swap over to the Iron Guards to deal with that. What did you not realize? Okay, we've got our loadout for this. I think we're gonna be fine here. Passive tank should be enough. Yeah, I thanked him earlier in the stream for the gifted sub. So thank you, Tapazoid. Alright, I think we're ready. I do need to change over from DPS to application. Flight velocity increase would be nice. Yeah, we don't really need the other option. Alright. Alright, so as you saw, my implant, I'm running Aerospace Implant 34. Running with the combat technique, which gives us drone tracking and fighter explosion velocity, which is hugely important for us. That is going to buff the application of our heavy fighter, light fighter things here. We're going to get 188 over 279. That's pretty much identical to, like, large missiles. So that's pretty awesome. We should be applying our damage very well with these. Like I said in previous videos, unfortunately we cannot use the bombs in the Wasteseeker test. And that's just how it's gonna be. Because it's considered a high-sec system. Depending on the DPS we're taking, I may choose to go for a all-around damage control and drop the DPS a little bit, but, I mean, we're looking at, let me see if I can find an image with some with some resistance numbers here. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Oh, interesting, I don't have an image with the, resistance. Okay. We're gonna be somewhere around like 48 million resistance in my current fit. If I really wanted to pump the numbers, this is what I could get. Running the damage control general units and a regular damage control. That's pretty terrifying. That's only with level 8 general units and a basic damage control. So I could have those numbers for about 9.1 seconds every 190 seconds or something like that. Thank you, Tapazoid, for your recommendations. We'll use that if we absolutely need to, but otherwise we're just gonna go for it. EHP fine, DPS fine. Alright, Faction War Games. Give me a minute here. There we go. We are having a little bit of a treat today because we're going to be in ultra quality for this. Alright, welcome to Capital Expert Difficulty. Quite literally, in normal circumstances, you will need a capital ship to complete it. Of course, for someone as skilled as you might succeed with a battleship. You could also possibly complete it with just a cruiser. That's gonna be a hell of a cruiser. I'd be surprised if you could. Alright, so the first target we are trying to look for is a ship labeled Executioner and a ship labeled Quietus. Alright, so there's our Quietus Wasteseeker. That is a carrier. I don't see anything else named Executioner right now. Let's check the harder ships here. Yep, I don't see Executioner, so we're just gonna worry about the Quietus. That is a carrier in the first mission. I guess I'll leave that there. I don't really need it. There we go, that's better.
Warp drive active.
Alright, let's go ahead and lock up that Quietus first. That's our main target. Everything else is not a problem. We are going to use our Nosferatu on it to keep our capacitor high. Same damage resistances on the armor, so we'll see what kind of application we're doing to it. Oh yeah, that's pretty good damage there. I don't know what's a good angle for this ship. Okay, we have killed the Quietus carrier. And it seems like we're flying just fine to the frigates. Okay, all of the really strong ships are going to be the first ones. That's your elites.
Warp scrambled.
After that, it really doesn't matter, it seems. So all of these lightweight trackers, these are lightweight ship versions of the Wasteseeker frigates. So please focus on them when at the end, or if you absolutely need to. But they are equivalent to lightweight ships. So these will be spawning from the carrier. Kill the carrier first, and then kill the lightweight ships. Warp prep doesn't seem that bad, actually. I haven't looked, but it really doesn't feel bad. Okay, we're going to be coming up on the second wave here in a moment. We're going to take the same approach. We're going to identify anything that is labeled Executioner and anything labeled Quietus. Those are our priority targets.
Enemy ships detected.
Okay, we have
attack.
nothing identified there. And nothing bad here. So if you can make it through the first wave, you should be good.
We're being warp scrambled.
But you've got to take care of that carrier. So if you can make it through the carrier, in a battleship, then second wave shouldn't be that bad.
We're being warp scrambled.
Yeah, these poor Wasteseekers don't really stand a chance. These fighters apply damage so well. Ooh, battleship and carrier. I really hope you can kill the carrier. The first one is usually not bad. Guess we got bumped. Yeah, that's a good coloration right there. Damn, I love the Wyvern. It's so good. It's such a funny ship. Wow, the sun is in the wrong area. I believe you can defang the carrier. It's got the same amount of flights
Docking
as
request accepted.
as the NPC Cyan, so if you can defang him and just work on damaging him after that, that should be good for you. Alright, this is gonna be 3.2. This is the one where there is a ton of neutralizer and Nosferatus. Previously, my Phoenix bodyguard sat in here with 0 capacitor for about 5 minutes as I struggled to keep it alive. I'm already seeing a Wasteseeker quietus at the top of my screen. Do you see that? And there's that exterminator. That guy is highly important that you kill him immediately if you have short-range weapons and no way to chase him. So kill him before you start working on anything else. Let's go ahead and pull that back up. Exterminator Scorched Land. That is your primary target for when you land on grid.
Warp
You'll
drive
notice that
active.
I have selected him and I am leaving it active so that when I land on grid, all I have to do is hit lock or focus fire.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled.
Okay, Quietus is my next target as a capital ship. Everything else after that, I don't care about. But we have to kill those 2 targets as a capital. The reason we kill the exterminator first, he will run out to 175 kilometers before he stops, and he will continue to run away no matter what you do. So kill him quickly if you are in a dreadnought.
We're being warp scrambled.
So there is a very small chance of having a quietest carrier spawn that has like an insane amount of repair. And I'm talking like more than like 7,000 DPS worth of repair. You just have to whittle him down as best you can. If you get one of those, you can choose to just restart the mission and you can end up with an easier carrier. They are RNG fit. Hello from the gym, Jenner. So the reason you're not watching my capacitor like plummet right now is the super carriers have a like 90% resistance to capacitor warfare. So it seriously helps with dealing with this. But even that being said, I have gone through 7% of my capacitor. Which is like deadly to most ships. So on the second wave, I'm gonna let that. If there's an exterminator on the second wave, I'll let him do his thing. Um, and I'll show you what I mean by him just running as far as he can. Uh-oh. What did you encounter, Snoopy? Could you not kill him? Or did you kill
Enemy
him?
ships detected.
Alright, once again, we're gonna look for
We're
that
under attack.
exterminator in case he is here. They do jump around quite a bit. Okay, I don't see an exterminator, so we're gonna just clear this out.
We're being warp scrambled.
Ah, tank is no problem, but you can't kill him. That's really unfortunate. What did you notice? I don't want to turn that on. Yeah, the reward coupons. What about them? I was able to use mine earlier. I don't know what it did though. Note that I am now down to 88% capacitor. This would absolutely drain any normal carrier or dreadnought. You would be fighting for your life right now, trying to save your capacitor. Yep. Now down to 87% capacitor. So if you are in a dread, I cannot recommend enough that you have 2 capacitor batteries. Capital capacitor batteries. It will save your life. It gives you about 50% capacitor warfare resistance, and you will get that capacitor to use intermittently every about 30 seconds. You should have one active. So definitely make sure you have one or 2 if you are flying a dreadnought. I don't know how bad it'll be on a Pulse Crystal 45 implant. Jinner, you'll have to tell me about it. Yeah, 1 cap battery, you got 50%. Oof. That's not too bad. Were you sitting at like 100 kilometers, or were you sitting at 0? I can't wait to do this with T10 Day 1. We'll have a hell of a stream. I am now down to 85% capacitor. So just so you know, this particular amount of capacitor being chewed through is only for this mission. So after this mission, you can drop some of your capacitor saving stuff up until you get to the last actual mission.
Docking request accepted.
On the last mission in this set, not in this set, but in the super expert missions, you're gonna find that you need a ton more active tank to handle it. So, just so you know, this amount of neutralizing and Nosferatu is only on 3.2. I don't know. I don't see any increase to the rewards. It all looks the same. I don't know.
Undocking.
Okay, so in this mission, we should encounter 2 carriers in one wave. Let's see, we got that exterminator here. I'll try to leave him alive. Here is the quietest Wasteseeker. So we'll get him taken care of. I can't remember if it's this one or the next one we get 2 carriers in a single wave. I don't really seem to use that often, so... Like I said, I'm gonna leave that
Warp drive
exterminator
active.
alive so I can show you exactly what he does.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled.
You can watch him here.
We're
He's going to
being
be
warp
at the top of
scrambled.
our screen. He's already at 23. He's at 24. 25. 26. 27. And he is just pulling range as quick as he can. He's now at 30. 31. 32. 'Exterminator Scorched Lands are the Usain Bolt of battleships. I don't think I've ever seen a battleship move this fast. Other than, like, player-owned ones. Yeah, for the Phoenix Bodyguard, that Exterminator was deadly. Because I just could not hit him hard enough. Or, I could not kill him fast enough before he was out of range. Missiles suffered in these exterminator waves.
We're being warp scrambled.
Okay, we're gonna go away from him for just a moment. And then we'll come back to him. Now he's at 50.
We're being warp scrambled.
You look away for like half a second, and now he's at 55. On the bright side, at least he goes in a straight line. So you're not gonna have like tracking issues on the other dreadnoughts. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't fix him, because he was one of the highlights. Unless they reduced his range. If they reduced his range, then they kind of fixed him, but it looks like he's just sprinting all the way out to 176. 68. He is now at 70 kilometers. This is still pretty well within range of most dreadnoughts with turrets. As for missiles, you have been out of range for about 20 kilometers now if you have barreled missiles. With capital torpedoes or capital large missiles, you're only going to do about 300 damage to him. So, barreled missiles are your only chance. Honestly, the Karura with the regular snub nose should be okay. Okay, I'm gonna let him do his thing. And we'll wait and see just how far he goes. Because maybe they reduced how far he goes. But, let's put like the tip of my ship on him, and you can see he's not traversing. He's just going straight away. So just focus him early on, and you should be okay. He's already at 95. So tracking should not be an issue. Just put your barreled weapons on him and go to town. But you have to lock him early. Otherwise he's going to be out of range within 15, 20 kilometers of you. Which is about half a minute. He'll be within range for you. If you have the barreled weapons. He is now at 107. But yeah, it seems like he's probably going about 500 meters a second as a NPC battleship. I think Afterburner could catch him. I do know that micro warp drive on a dreadnought theoretically would catch him, up until the point where he bounces off the wall. And that is the way that I had to deal with this once already. I did have to use a micro warp drive on the Phoenix Bodyguard and actually chase this guy all the way to the wall of the encounter, and then he bounced to the center, where I could land and lock him, and deal all the damage I needed to do. These are just some of the tips that you can get for dealing with these exterminators. So, your first tip is to lock him immediately if you're in a turret or missile dreadnought. On a missile dreadnought, you should have a micro warp drive equipped on the off chance that you have to chase them. You should also have a longbow for the extra range if you have that option. Definitely go with barreled missiles. On a Phoenix Bodyguard, on everything else you have the option of either barreled or you have the option of your snub nose or autocannon equivalent weapons. He is already at 146 kilometers. This is now completely out of range of most autocannons and that kind of just above barreled weapons. These smaller capital weapons. I don't really know what to refer to them as. He is now at 154. At this kind of range, he actually does start to traverse a little bit. So if you thought you were going to use the large weapons. These would be your beam lasers, or your, strike cannons. He will now start to traverse away. You can see now he is actually starting to turn to the right. He is now at 168 kilometers. 169. 170. 171. $175. Did you see that jink to the right there? Okay. And now he's starting to traverse downward. At this point, you will not track him. With capital large weapons, you will not be able to hit him at this point. There is a very slim possibility of using the multi-frequency crystal for the revelation with large beam lasers, and maybe you would hit him. And there's a very, very slim chance with the artillery cover on the Naglfar. So you can see now he is traversing quite heavily downward. We're going to go ahead and take care of him now. I'm going to save our shield for a moment. One of the nice things about carriers in general, if you can get your hand on one, is everything is going to be within range for you. And your fighters should be fast enough at all times to handle the exterminator. Yeah, I think most turret dreadnoughts shouldn't have an issue as long as they deal with this guy immediately. Actually, that is a good idea if I did a screenshot for that. Thank you for reminding me.
Enemy ships detected.
Okay, this wave,
We're under attack.
let's see, we've got an Annihilator, that is a new name here.
We're being warp scrambled.
And then I'm seeing a
We're
Quietus.
being warp scrambled.
Actually, this is a waste. Yeah, it's a Quietus. Okay.
We're being warp scrambled.
Yeah, I don't really see any other troubles here other than the Quietus, Wasteseeker, and the Annihilator. The Annihilator's not really a problem. Let's check out what he's actually doing to us. So he's just dealing damage. He does seem to be running away a little bit, but I don't think he goes that far. So I'm going to unlock him here. We're going to keep him on the overview. And we'll just see what he does. Okay, he's now at 41 kilometers, 42 kilometers. God, it was so bad back in the day when this first came around. It was so painful. 8 hours of suffering through these missions. But once we got past the exterminator, it really wasn't a problem. We did have a few issues with that high repair quietus. It was so good. This is one of those high repair quietus. You can see how much he healed in one chunk there. Luckily, we have just an insane amount of DPS on the Wyvern, so it's not a problem. But the Phoenix Bodyguard, when I first got it, and this is what I threw it into, oh my god, that was awful. Okay, he is now at 62 kilometers, by the way. He is now at 65 kilometers, so yeah, I would say just take care of this guy immediately. If you're a Dread.
We're being warp scrambled.
He seems to be very similar to the Exterminator. That Annihilator name. So keep an eye on that.
We're being warp scrambled.
We've actually got some pretty good damage coming in. They've done about 700,000 without me healing. Other than passive shield recharge. Also, something nice to note, your fighters do not get targeted in this event, so you don't really have to watch their health. Okay, he is now at 100 kilometers. He thinks running from supper will save him. Eat your goddamn dinner! You cannot escape from dinner. Yep, it's the effort that counts. He's now at 115 kilometers. You might be able to squeeze more out of the Cobra, Snoopy. If you said your tank was completely fine, you might be able to drop, like, one thing and be able to kill that carrier. He is now at 128 kilometers. So, kill Executioners and kill Annihilators first. Okay, off we go. Let's see if they can kill him. There's no point in me having that grappler. He's way out of range anyway. If you're in a carrier, you can always go for a fighter micro warp drive module, just to clear this guy out a little bit quicker if you leave him to last. But otherwise, it's really not a problem.
Docking request accepted.
And that was 3.3. And now we should have the last one for this set. Out of curiosity, what's my IP on here? 301? That's quite a bit higher. What's in Dormant Realm? 99. That's not bad. That's cheaper than my Aeon. Yep, so this will be the last one of today, I believe. It is 3.4. Yep, 3.5 through 3.7, or Ultimate Test, will open on the 10th.
Undocking.
Okay, I believe this one should have 2 carriers. Let's check the list. We'll go through the list. We have 2 Exterminators, so this will be difficult. And that's your main targets here. The 2 Exterminators. These are the ones that run away. Gosh darn it. I just did that again. Okay. always keep an eye on your list. Currently, I have it sorted by name, which I guess puts the exterminator at the top. So that's really nice to check on that.
Warp drive active.
We're just gonna quickly take care of these guys. They get to die first.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled.
I love being able to just absolutely nuke those
We're being warp
exterminators.
scrambled.
The revenge feels so good. And I so desperately wish I had completed that first one so I could have both Wasteseeker combat test medals. I'm gonna be so sad not having both.
We're being warp scrambled.
But I'll at least have one.
We're being warp scrambled.
So the DPS here really is not high. Your main problem is going to be those two executioners. So focus them, get rid of them, and you should be okay. And I'm pretty sure the next wave has 2 carriers. I keep saying that, but I'm pretty sure it does. The moon got its revenge. Nice.
Enemy ships detected.
Yeah, you gotta get through all this. Oh, there's a
We're under
Quietus.
attack.
There's a Quietus exterminator. So you know what that means.
We're being warp scrambled.
And we also have an exterminator scorched land. These exterminator Quietuses have a lot more health. And they also can do repairs, like you just saw. That huge amount of repair was actually from the other Quietus. So they act as Logi for each other. We're going to take out this other exterminator Scorched Land, because he is annoying and easily one of my main targets. Actually, let me focus fire here. I want to try something here. I'm gonna bring back all my ships here. I want to put one of these fighters and see if he can out-heal 7,000 DPS. Yes. Okay, let's try 14,000. Damn, he almost out-heals 14,000. Yeah, he probably out-heals about, 8 to 10. 8 to 10,000. Yeah, look at those reps. That's insane. I am so glad I have a super carrier for this. Holy shit. It feels so good to turn these things into what looks like a toy. And I'm not even unleashing, like, my highest amount of DPS on these things.
We're under attack.
I want to see what my actual heavy fighters do to them. Because right now we're just using the heavy bombers, which kind of have the same DPS as light fighters, and the same application as light fighters.
We're under attack.
So I really cannot wait to see what my heavy fighters actually do to those capital ships.
We're under attack.
We're slowly getting rid of those lightweight trackers, which are the lightweight ships for the carriers.
We're under attack.
Now, one thing to note about these lightweight
We're
trackers,
under attack.
they do work without their... Oh, there's another carrier. Wait, I get to have fun. Holy crap, there's 3 carriers in this wave. Hang on a minute. We're gonna have some fun. Alright. Alright, go on, my little minions. Murder him. Actually, not that bad. $72. 74. Yeah, interesting. We actually do better with the bombers. Well, they've done pretty good about trying to get through my shields. They've chewed through about 1.1 million. I wonder at what point that I actually start out-healing them. No loss is not the same as clearing one. That's funny. Ooh, this one definitely takes a little bit of time, though. There are a lot of battleships here. I am like 99% sure that the Aeon would have had to heal by now. And I'm also pretty sure that I don't think T10 Day 1 will clear this with a, Dread. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to go with the Nidhogger at like 600 kilometers.
Docking request accepted.
We'll still try it with the Dread, though. Alright. So there were your 4 missions, and a pretty good overview of my recommendations for the capital pilots out here and what you can do to deal with certain enemies that show up. And which enemies to actually look for and how to deal with them, based on my previous interactions. We'll put that stuff into action, maybe tomorrow on T10 Day 1. But I did want to get this out there so people who are struggling will have a little bit more info as we're going through on each wave. So thank you all so much for the support. I really cannot thank you enough. So thank you. Take care and be safe.